What's up, my fellow normie lineals, and all you Fortnite gamers? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day full of happiness and positivity, bro. Nah, but in all seriousness, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm back with another banger from yours truly. Some Tang Wong is back with another banger. I know it's been a minute since I've done another podcast, but hey, podcast episode 3 is here. Decided to do another podcast because I thought about doing like a kind of like a review essay type of video for this certain topic I'm about to discuss, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go all out and start editing shit and nobody watches the video. So because we all know YouTube is just nothing but a platform that's filled with disposable content, as it rightfully should be. But yeah, that's my reasoning for doing this as a podcast today, because yeah, I don't want to put in all that time just editing and then nobody watches, nobody. But hey, if you are watching, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do what those other cringe YouTubers do, and simply tell you or ask you to like and subscribe to this video, or like and subscribe to my channel, I should say. Yeah, go ahead and do that while you're thinking of it. I'm just kidding. Don't do it right now. Wait till after the fucking video's done, like a normal person. But yeah, today's video is going to be very special because I'm going to tell you guys all about my experience as being an extra in the Daily Wire's new original comedy, quote-unquote comedy, original Lady Ballers. Yep, that's right. Yours truly was an extra in this movie. And I also couldn't believe it when I found out the other day that this was, in fact, the movie I was starring as an extra in. Or if you don't know what an extra is, it's essentially, in gamer terms, I'm essentially an NPC, somebody in the background that doesn't have any speaking lines, just there to take up space, or deliver the realism of each scene, right? That's what I was doing. But yeah, how I found out about this particular gig was through a email I got from it was my school email account, because I had recently graduated from college, and usually you get emails typically after graduation about certain job offers or gigs, typically pertaining to your degree path. And I'm a video and film major at a degree path. Yeah, VFP major. And so of course I got this email saying like, hey, you can get paid up to $200 for performing as an extra, or being an extra for this movie, for the sports comedy. That's how it was described in the description. I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I don't mind getting paid to do nothing, right? And it'll look good on my resume. I could just say like, hey, I know what it's like to be behind the scenes, how productions work. And because I mean, that much is true. I do know how these productions work. I know how they're formatted and stuff. But I took the offer and signed up, did all the shit you're supposed to do in terms of applying to be a film extra. And so I do all that, and the time comes, and this was back in this recent summer. This is when it happened. Probably around late May, early June is when I filmed these scenes, or helped film with these scenes. But yeah, that's what I did. And so I get there. I found out that they were shooting at this theater in Nashville. I can't remember the exact name. I'll put it up on the screen for those of you who don't know. But it was an area in Nashville because, of course, that's where the Daily Wire's headquarters is. It's in Nashville. They moved there recently, and this massive film production. They have their own massive film production. It's actually, I was really surprised by the budget for this movie, or at least the massive budget that the Daily Wire has in general for their other original films, which I can't say they're much home. You can't really say that they're anything to write home about, because they're simply just tax write-offs, essentially. You don't really know about them. I don't really consider them artistic by any means. It's just, let's make these movies because we have this massive production company, and yeah, let's just have some tax write-offs. But no, with the exception of this movie, though, I feel like people are going to eat this particular movie up, because it's just that typical normie conservative shit that boomers will eat up. Honestly, this is like a trailer. I'll have the trailer playing in the background, but like if you've seen the trailer in its entirety and like listen to the dialogue, you can tell like this is some normie shit, low-hanging fruit kind of comedy. Like this type of comedy was kind of funny a little over a decade ago when they did stuff like this, but I would say those films were a lot funnier than what's being presented on screen. But I'm kind of getting off track. But no, my time as an extra. So I went to this location in Nashville, and they have you check in, and you wait in this massive line, and you essentially wait for security guards to tell you, or not necessarily security guards, but the people that are working with the production company that kind of guide the extras, tell them where to go and whatnot. We do all that, and we get inside. They tell us what's about to happen, and like what our scene's about, and they get us all lined up in these like fake security lines, like as we're going into a basketball game. And when we do that, I think the DP or the director of photography came out to like kind of tell everybody what the scene is about and like give us the context so we know how to act and know how to properly conduct ourselves in the background while they're filming their scene. And I think the scene was I think you see bits of it in the trailer, but it's the one where Brett Cooper and Michael Knowles' character are like they're dressed like the Indian costumes and they're broadcasting the basketball game or whatever. That was one of the scenes that the extras were in, where they're giving their dialogue. And holy shit, I'll get into the dialogue later, at least the dialogue I heard on set, but in terms of like actually being there, they essentially tell you like, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to walk at this certain pace, and you're going to act like you're talking to people, or just like have like a mini discussion with each other as you're walking through the line. Just act like you normally would if you were at a basketball game walking through security lines. So we do that, and we did this like, I can't tell you how many times we fucking did this particular scene, but I got to hear the dialogue from Brett Cooper, even though at the time because granted, I didn't know what this movie was. I didn't know the real name of the movie, and I didn't know who the production company was because they don't tell you that necessarily. But it was funny to find out as of last week that it was Brett Cooper the entire time delivering those lines and fucking it up for like thousandth time. But like what was funny about it is that like she looks really different in person. She is tiny as fuck, which a lot of those Daily Wire employees are tiny as fuck. They look like they came from the Hobbit Shire. Well, actually, in this case, it'd be the Kosher Shire because a lot of them are Jewish. But that's neither here nor there. But no, it was funny to find out that it was Brett Cooper that I saw in that ridiculous outfit. Because I have some friends of mine and even family members that like share me clips of Brett Cooper's little news channel that she has, or wherever that YouTube channel she has where she covers all sorts of different news types. And like, okay, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, right? But Brett Cooper just reminds me of Ben Shapiro in drag, right? That's what she reminds me of. But no, in all seriousness, kind of going back to what I was talking about, it was really weird to find out that was her that was fucking up those scenes. And same with Michael Knowles, but Michael Knowles, if you kind of know some of his backstory, he is actually a failed actor. I don't know if some of y'all know this, but he used to do some interesting stuff back then, but you could tell like he had some experience in acting, and he was like a lot better at delivering his lines than Brett Cooper was. But yeah, that it was those two, and like the dialogue, dude. The dialogue was weird as fuck, and like you could tell it was like some try hard shit. And if you've seen the movie, because I haven't, but if you have, feel free to comment to let me know if I'm actually right about this, or at least right at my assessment. But the dialogue came across as like really try hard, like somebody was trying extremely hard to enunciate the fact that this is a non-woke movie, but they're trying to point out how ridiculous leftists are or wokeists are. But because like a lot of the lines were like, how did Brett Cooper say it? She was like, "Why do you get to do all the talking? This is years of sexism and such and such." It was something like that. It's like, oh god. It's like, could you be any more cringe? Like, and I'm not blaming this on Brett Cooper, because I understand she's delivering a line that was written for her to read, or to say, I should say, to deliver. It's a line that it was written for her to deliver, but the writing, you could tell, even if you watch the trailer, you can tell the writing sucks. And it's try hard. It's over the top humor, if you want to call it that. And that was basically the vibe I got when you could hear like some of the dialogue. Like when I was even like on set when as an extra, you don't get to hear every single thing they say, because one of the next things they had us do was, other than the security line, was have us in the basketball stands to fill out the spaces, and we did this scene where we like got up and cheered like I can't remember how many times we did. It was like, it felt like a million times. So I was like, are we just fucking this up, or do they need like a million different options to choose from with us cheering and shit? But yeah, that was another scene I did, and another one where actually before we got up and cheered, and I don't know if I could point myself out in the trailer. I may not. It may not even be in the trailer, but if it is, I'm kind of like up in the right corner with a red and black flannel. If you do see me, you probably won't, because it wasn't necessarily guaranteed that you were ever going to be shown in this movie as an extra. You were just there to essentially fill the space. But yeah, one of the scenes that they had us kind of view, I guess, was like this one scene where the basketball players are talking to Michael Knowles' character who's broadcasting or whatever, and he says something. You can't hear what he says until like this one guy comes up, one of the basketball players comes up. He's like, "All right, that's enough. That's enough." Like in the most ridiculous way possible. And Michael Knowles is like, "Whoa, don't get on my land, white man," or he says something like that. You could hear that part, but everything else you couldn't. It wasn't audible to us as the extras in the stands. But there was this guy that came out who was working on the production, who would like signal us to get up and cheer for like the 1,000th time, and we did that over and over. And that we did that so many fucking times, and I was actually surprised how many times we had to fucking do it. So I mean, that's essentially what you have to do as an extra, or at least what I've come to learn, or even from my experience, is that it's a lot of waiting around, waiting for a director or some director of photographer to come over and say, "Hey, this is what you're going to do. Get up at this moment." They do like thousands of these takes, and it's like, okay, what's going on? Are the extras fucking up, or are the actors fucking up? And there were some other extras I was talking to where we were just kind of joking around saying like, is that one actor who's just saying that same line over and over again, just like fucking it up? Because like it's like the act, we could all tell like this was so over the top and ridiculous, and like we didn't know if like these were like experienced actors or just somebody that the Daily Wire just pulled off the street, which I could see that happening to save some money. So I feel like the money for this production just went into like certain camera equipment, which in my opinion was underutilized based on the final product I'm seeing. But yeah, that was that. And there were some really interesting people that you meet on set, or at least the extras that you meet on set, because there was this older lady who was like, for some reason, trying to act like everybody's mom. And I don't know if people can relate to this, but like there's always that one coworker or that one person in school that like tries to abide by the rules no matter what, doesn't like to have fun, and they're always like, I was disciplined, I followed the rules because I'm a good little bitch. And everyone just like collectively says, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." But yeah, we had one of those on set, because I remember, because like on set you weren't allowed to like record any of the production itself. You weren't allowed to record any takes that they were doing, and I mean, and that understandably so. Like that's kind of what you would expect from any production. Like you're not allowed to have your phone out, you're not allowed to record anything, or leak anything, because of course that goes against their NDA that you signed. I don't even necessarily remember signing an NDA, but all I remember is, hey, you can't record this, you can't record that. And this older lady, I think, had mistakenly thought this one girl was like recording something, but like she had her phone out like after the takes were done, and it was kind of like a break time, right? And this girl had her phone out, and this older bitch was like, "Oh, put your phone away. Why do you have your phone out? You're gonna get in so much trouble." And she's like, I'm not doing anything bad, and it's not like I'm recording or anything." And the older lady, like for some reason, brought up the fact that she was like super disciplined and follows the rules, and everyone else should too. And she made like this big point about it, and then she like started shushing people when like the scenes weren't even rolling, the cameras weren't even rolling. The bitch was like telling people to like shush. And I thought it was so funny, because it's like, dude, I get enough of this shit. Like, everywhere else. Like, I don't need you to be my second mom, please. I one of those was good enough. Okay, I don't need another one on set, especially when I'm trying to like do a paid gig and get money out of this shit and do these fucking takes over and over again. I don't need you to be my mom, bitch. Okay, thank you. But no, that was one of the funny things that happened on set. You know, like me and these other guys, the other extras on set, were kind of just talking shit about this girl. We were like, what the fuck's her problem? Oh, and I think she had like some fucking health problems as well. Like, for some reason, she couldn't handle like sitting down for more than 5 minutes. She kept getting her ass up. I think even during the take, she was getting her ass up and like trying to go to the bathroom and shit. And granted, that I don't know if I would say that's necessarily funny, rather than just sad, but I just thought it was funny. She kept getting up like over and over again, and her friend was too. They would not get settled, and they kept climbing over me and just being like, "Hey, excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. I can't hold my pee in." Like, not like that, but you kind of get the idea. Like, these people would not sit their ass down. They constantly had to be up. And like, this one dude behind me, he's like, "Dude, you should have told her to sit her ass down after the 5th time she did that." I was like, you know what? You're right. I should have done that. Of course, we were joking, but yeah, that was probably the funny bits of that day. Cause like, this was like a 10-hour day, mind you. Like, and thank God I got paid after the day. It was like, you go in for the day and then you get paid on that day. It wasn't like you had to wait like the next week to get paid for this gig, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, my overall thoughts on the production experience, or like being an extra, it's long as fuck. It can be boring as fuck too, but it is interesting to see like how scenes work and how the team members or the production members work together to film these scenes, or at some points just take their sweet fucking time getting things set up, even though I feel like stuff like this could be run a little more efficiently, which I was a little surprised about, because I could tell, like, just based on the equipment I saw on set, I mean, they had a lot of money thrown into this. I mean, not like in terms like Disney level money, but it was a good enough money to throw on set. And I feel like a lot of it was just kind of underutilized. The production itself, like in terms of like how they went from one scene to the next, wasn't run efficiently, in my opinion. I didn't think it was that great. I felt like things could have wrapped up a lot faster than they did. I don't really think they needed a bazillion different takes of like this one particular scene. But yeah, I forgot to mention this. There was one other like montage they were filming on the court. I did see them do this scenes where they dunk on those stupid bitches. Or the female basketball players. I saw them do that bit. I thought that was pretty funny. But I wish, which this is going to kind of segue into my next point, which is the trailer itself. I wish I had been an extra on the day they had filmed that wrestling scene where that dude just chokeslams that stupid bitch on the floor. Dumb bitch. Nah, but in all seriousness, I would have loved to have been on set that day for that specific scene. I would have laughed my ass off, or at least be the person in the background that's just cheering on the dude choke slamming the girl. Because to me, I think that's probably the funny thing about this movie, or at least in the trailer itself, is like the whole like premise is it's ridiculous for guys to be involved in women's sports. It's so ridiculous. That's kind of the whole point. Even though I would say women paved the way for guys to be in girls' sports because of shit like having people like James Charles and Jeffree Star in their social circles. So it was cool to have the gay dude in their little circles, and then it turns into this shit. Turns into them participating in women's sports because women don't need to vote. But I'm kind of getting off track. But yeah, that's the whole premise of this movie is like, it's ridiculous that guys get involved in girls' sports. This shouldn't be happening. But the Daily Wire's take on it is like a very hyperbolic take, kind of poking fun at this idea. And in a way, I think it is kind of funny to that degree that they are poking fun at it. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of it, the execution is a bit off. It's not as funny as they think it is. The wrestling scene, or like the dude chokeslamming the bitch, onto the ground. That part's funny because to me, what makes it funny is that the girl is getting hurt, not so much the guy being in the sport itself, but just that bit. That's funny. Now that's funny. But everything else outside of that, to me, this isn't for me. I don't really fall in line with this humor necessarily. I think it's a joke that's overdone. I don't think this is a topic worth obsessing over, which I don't know why a lot of normie conservatives or even Con Inc., for example, I don't know why they obsess over this one particular topic when there are so many different topics in the U.S. that need to be addressed, like American sovereignty or national sovereignty, immigration, or demographic replacement, like white replacement, for example, which I think will become mainstream later on. And I know me mentioning that's going to piss some people off, but I really don't care. Those are just the facts. But no, the whole like trans issue, to me is it's kind of a nothing burger at this point. I don't really think you're going to get in a lot of trouble if you talk about it or like make fun of it. And like, I mean, really, what's the worst that can happen? Some people despise you, whatever, I guess. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, not, and what I'm saying when I say not that big of a deal, I'm not saying I agree with like trannies being involved in women's sports or to that degree or that nature, but just like what I'm against is this whole idea of over emphasizing or over obsessing this particular issue when there are like billions of other issues that should be taking the front stage, right? That's what I think. But the overall trailer, just it doesn't really sell me on the whole movie itself. I'm not gonna really go out of my way to watch this movie. Now, if somebody has like a Daily Wire Plus account that they want to share with me, but by all means, feel free to share it so I can find my scenes in this movie. No, other than that, oh, actually, no, there was something I wanted to mention about this particular trailer. If you haven't noticed, a lot of Daily Wire employees are in this trailer. People like the ones I mentioned earlier, Brett Cooper, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, and Andrew Clavin, and I think the main star's name is Jeremy Boring, or I don't know if that's how you say his last name. I don't really care to look it up. But yeah, he's like the main star, and there is one other employee that I believe is in the movie, or at least the cast list on IMDb, and that is Candace Owens. You thought I was gonna forget her? No, I didn't. But I think I know why she wasn't shown in the trailer, and I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if she's actually in the movie itself. But if she's not, I think I know why she's not in the movie itself, or even at least the trailer. Based on my understanding, is that whole feud she had with Ben Shapiro on Twitter, where she absolutely wrecked his ass because she quoted a verse from the Bible, and Ben Shapiro started seething over it. Basically said, if the Daily Wire, this job is getting between you and God, but Phil, by all means, quit. Or the whole point of the interaction, and she basically called him out on his shit, saying like, we've all been dealing with you recently. You've been very emotional and throwing tantrums like a child. And he was. This whole Israel-Palestine conflict is making him seethe right now. He's acting like a little child. Kind of been on an unhinged rant within the past couple months. But other than that, yeah, notice she's not in it. And she's actually probably one of my favorite employees over at the Daily Wire. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Daily Wire by any means. I do think it's funny. Actually, it's really petty, not necessarily funny, just petty that they excluded her from the trailer. But my main thing is I'm really curious to see this development with Candace Owens and her relationship with the Daily Wire. I know she's on maternity leave right now. I believe she's on maternity leave because I know she's pregnant. But it'll be interesting to see if she's still able to keep her job over at the Daily Wire. But other than that, yeah, that's my thoughts on being an extra for Lady Ballers and my thoughts on the overall trailer. I don't really care too much to go into full detail on the trailer alone because, yeah, this isn't necessarily a review channel by any means. I guarantee you some other YouTubers have covered the trailer itself. And of course you have those that are just like foaming at the mouth thinking this is super funny, even though this is a joke that we've seen within the past 2 decades. Just, I don't really think done that well. But other than that, that's my thoughts on this. I'm looking forward to what other originals the Daily Wire's got cooking up, like that Snow White original, starring Brett Cooper as Snow White, the non-woke Snow White. Nah, just kidding, just kidding. But other than that, let me know what you guys' thoughts are on Lady Ballers, or what you think my thoughts are on this, if I'm being a hateful little bitch, or if you feel free to tell me if I'm wrong about this overall movie and that this is just the funniest thing you've ever seen. No, please feel free to let me know because I want to know who I need to block or who I need to blacklist. Nah, but in all seriousness, you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure this gets to 10 likes, and I'll see you on the next one, which will probably be my video on the hottest Christmas takes or hottest Christmas movie takes. Y'all are going to really enjoy that one. You really will, because I am going to for sure piss people off with that video. If anyone watches this. Bye for now.